It's no secret that Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen was incredible. Nearly every episode was full of nuts-to-butts action, resulting in one of the best shonen seasons in anime history. With that being said, some episodes definitely stood out among the crowd. Here are my top 5 episodes of Season 2. So, as you all know, Nomi has always been a mentor or a guide to Yuji, and watching his development as he progressed as a Jujutsu sorcerer, well, along with everyone else in this season, he's gotta kick the bucket. And better, or worse yet, he has to kick it right in front of the main character. You know this is gonna be a big death when they dedicate an entire episode to that and its effect on Yuji. One of my favorite things about Nomi is how he contrasted Mei so well. They're both high-level Jujutsu sorcerers, which to Nomi carries a tremendous amount of responsibility. But Mei, on the other hand, she uses her position to better her personal wealth as much as she can. She puts her own skin above the greater good, and that's why she got to live and Nomi had to die. Both Mei and Nomi wanted to visit Malaysia. To Nomi, it was like some far-off dream, an escape to the responsibility he has. But for Mei, it's a reality. Nonomi's responsibility, the burden that he carries, it's what got him killed. The fact that Yuji is there to witness all of this makes the emotional impact much more powerful. It's been a while since Season 1, so it's easy to forget that these two had a pretty strong teacher-student relationship. They shared a similar dynamic with Mahito together, and the curse returns to finish what it started. The subsequent fight between Yuji and Mahito is definitely one of my favorites in the season. I really don't think we've ever seen Yuji so determined and focused. The contrast between Mahito and Ichidori is one that I've always personally liked, even more than Sukuna's relationship with him, and they're both driven by this one goal, fundamentally inseparable from their character. Mahito toys with Yuji's morality, deliberately killing and transfiguring humans in front of him, and rubbing in how helpless they are. Yuji leverages his anger to put up an excellent fight against a special great curse spirit. The episode finishes off with Nobara taking the stage, ready to exercise Mahito's double, but we all know how that turned out. Gojo's first bout with Toji obviously didn't go over as well as anyone would have liked, but we all know that he can't die because this is a prequel. So Gojo is back for his redemption fight, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Before Toji can be annihilated by Gojo, he has to first annihilate Geto, and that he does. We only really see Geto in a handful of fights in the series, so it's always appreciated to see his curse technique, though it doesn't do him much good here. Toji toys with Geto to a ridiculous degree, like, it's no wonder he turned evil. But really, this fight is coming off the coattails of what Geto would probably consider his greatest failure, in letting Gojo and Riko die. It would make sense for him to not be in the right state of mind. Again, the writers make it look like Geto is dead, which doesn't fool anyone, because this is a prequel, and we already know when Geto dies anyway. But still, maybe it fooled one person. Now we can get on with the meat of the episode, Gojo's awakening, and subsequent fight with Toji. Gojo is legitimately insane in this fight. He's rambunctious, he's euphoric, he's untouchable. The imagery and the piano sonnet demonstrates Gojo's connection with everything. He has ascended beyond what any man could ever accomplish, becoming a god in his own practice. He launches imaginary technique, Hollow Purple, and makes Toji regret ever choosing to fight him. It's here that we get to see Toji's regret manifest. He loves his wife, and he loves his son, and normally he wouldn't be so risky, even in his risky profession. Toji lets Gojo know about Megami, and then he dies. I'm sure we'll never see him do that again. The episode ends with Gojo holding Riko's body over the cult, with Geto by his side. Gojo contemplates the two of them killing everyone in that room. This is where we see the ideologies of these two prodigies demonstrated once again. Geto is constantly considering the welfare of the weak, while Gojo is so far away from them that he can only really consider what's important to him, at least while he's this younger version of himself. His concern for the innocent seems to grow as he gets older. The writers managed to squeeze so much action and character development into one episode, and that's why it earned its spot on this list. Thunderclap Part 1 was one of, if not the most beautifully animated episodes in Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe even the best action sequence in anime as a whole. Toji is putting the pressure on Megumi in this episode in every single scene of their fight. This is one of the most fast-paced animations we get to see in the series. Megumi is a character that has always underestimated himself throughout the series. He always tries to pull out his trump card, Mahagora, at literally every fight in the series. It was so refreshing to see him trust himself against an enemy as strong as Toji. He's pulling out all the stops, but it's a moot point. I mean, it's Toji. Megumi ain't having a shot. And once Toji realizes he's fighting his own son, he has to do the classic dad move and split. Toji is such an unstoppable force that he can only be stopped by himself. The second fight in the episode between Sukuna and Jogo was so incredibly fast-paced and explosive, even compared to other fights in the season. Sukuna's challenge to land even a single hit on him really showed the power difference between them. And this is after Jogo casually almost killed 3 of the strongest sorcerers in the series thus far. Jogo's pride is an essential part of his character. He wants to think of himself as strong, perhaps the strongest curse, or at least the strongest disaster curse that there is, and Sukuna robs him of this pride, and he casually deflects anything Jogo throws at him, including his strongest technique, Maximum Meteor. Sukuna finishes Jogo off with his own technique, destroying Jogo in a battle of firepower as a final insult to his pride, though everything up to this point was incredible. It's the final scene in the episode that gives it its place here. We see one final affirmation of Jogo's beliefs in the afterlife. He gets to reunite with his friends, and someday he'll be able to see them again in another life. Sukuna sends Jogo off with some guidance from a stronger curse, and he finally gets that affirmation he's been searching for. Jogo is strong. Injecting a substantial amount of personal bias into this choice, I have no shame in saying that Toto was probably my favorite character in the series. His over-the-top style and everything he does makes him a joy to watch on screen. I've always loved the dynamic between him and Yuji, but it has always felt a little one-sided on Toto's end, but that sentiment is gone here. This episode has Yuji relying on Toto, both in battle and emotionally, and we get to see a more mature side to their relationship. This episode follows the death of both Nomi and Nobara right in front of Yuji's eyes. He's left defeated and broken in the shadow of Mahito, not to mention the emotional turmoil that comes with Sukuna using your body to cause a massacre. I think Toto was really the only person who could have brought him out of this state. It was nice to see Toto recognize the severity of the situation, because throughout the series he's kind of been played off as a gay character for the most part. He has delusions about Ichidori being his brother, simply because he shares the same taste in women. He has a parasocial relationship with a celebrity, which literally drives his will to fight. Toto uses this incredible will to lift Yuji up and help him overcome this seemingly impossible obstacle that is Mahito. This is all without mentioning the actual fight in the episode, which is animated beautifully. Mahito's movements are so dynamic and inhuman, while Toto and Yuji's moves are slick and fast. Every hit has some weight behind it that is felt by all 3 characters, and the slow scenes in this episode really allow the color to shine. I talk more about this episode in my other video, linked below. This episode was, in my opinion, the best episode Jujutsu Kaisen has ever offered in its history. Not only did it contain one of the most monumental moments of the series, with Gojo getting sealed, it also had some of the best animation this season had to offer. And that's saying a lot, considering the other episodes on this list. Gojo being sealed was the catalyst for a much darker season, with loss after loss, death after death following suit. Obviously, the strongest part in this episode is Gojo. He's a fan favorite, and we get to see a ton of action from him, from crushing Hanami to toying with Jogo, all the way up to his domain expansion, as he slaughters 1,000 transfigured humans. And if that wasn't enough, the emotional range of the episode is one of the most impressive parts to me, considering they squeezed it all into less than 25 minutes of runtime. Gojo was like an animal pouncing on his prey, as the disaster curses. All of this changes when Geto enters the field. Gojo is flooded with memories, happy moments, depressing ones, regrets, you name it. His lashing out at the thing that stole his once friend away from him is incredible. We don't ever really get to see Gojo get angry, and his emotions feel so genuine, with the context of his prequel arc earlier in the season. For all these reasons, this episode is granted the place of #1 episode in the season. That wraps up the top 5 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Do you agree with the list? Let me know what you would change, what your all-time favorite episode of the season was, and as always, thanks for being here.